Who is the queen of hiding fringes? I think me. I look like a different person every time I record a YouTube video. It's a completely different identity, because... Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice, and today I will be continuing my Enchanted Endeavours series, and this episode will be on scrying, which is the method that I use to read crystal balls and other mediums. In this episode, we'll be covering what scrying is, why you would want to scry and what its purpose is, whether it's dangerous and the different methods and mediums of scrying that you can use. Then after that, I'll be showing you how to scry with the medium which I use, which is a crystal ball. So I'll be showing you how to read a crystal ball with a step-by-step tutorial from the actual preparing it to the actual reading of it. So we are covering a lot today, and this might actually be the longest video I've ever made. So I'm just going to hop right into this video since we have so much to cover in this Enchanted Endeavours today. I really hope you enjoy this video, and let's just hop right into it. This is my third time recording this video, so fingers fucking crossed. So starting off with the complete basics, what is scrying? The method of scrying is typically gazing into mediums with a reflective, polished surface and other different mediums, much like crystal balls, scrying mirrors, water, crystal, or even just sheets of material made from things like obsidian, and even completely different other mediums, which we will get into in a minute. What scrying does is relax your eyes and your mind, which allows your psychic eye to open, and your psychic abilities can come through to see visions, pictures, messages, symbols within the surface or medium used. So why would you need scrying, or why would you choose to do scrying? There are tons and tons of reasons why you would choose to do scrying, but one of the main ones is using it as a form of divination. So it's used for a form of future prediction or fortune telling. It can be used to connect with your subconscious self, to see visions that can give you insight into problems, situation, questions you may have, you may need in your life to clear up confusions about situations and kind of give you the true meaning and the answers what you see, and help you kind of find the root of your problems to sort it out and guide you in the right direction. Some people believe that subconsciously you already know all of the answer to your problems, but using divination brings it all to light. So you kind of lay it out in a surface, laying out the situation that you need insight in, and it's showing you something from a different side. It's showing you the answers in a ball. And some people believe that is all from your subconscious, and some people believe differently. Or it can just be used for an insight into your near future. It may not be a specific problem that you may want help with or anything like that. You may just want an insight out of curiosity into your future. You can do a general reading, or you can base it around a situation. Even if you see something negative in your future, or in a future situation, or something negative coming your way, it's actually really helpful, because it can give you an insight into that to change that. Remember, with all types of divination, whatever they predict for the future, it's always the future if the situation doesn't change. So if you predict something bad in the future, that does not necessarily mean it's going to happen, because the future can change. You can change situations, but it can be a helpful insight, so it tells you you need to change something. You can also use scrying to access a higher realm in order to gain different types of knowledge too. Another reason people would choose to do scrying is actually to connect with the spirit realm, to receive clairvoyant messages, even to connect with the supernatural, sometimes maybe to gain answers, and some people just like to use it to connect with deceased loved ones. It definitely can be used as a portal and a gateway to connect with the spirit world. Other reasons you may use scrying is for healing, mentally and physically, because of the calmingness and the balance that it brings to your mind and physical being. Some just believe that the actual even doing scrying can help you cure yourself anyway, and fix some parts of your body in order to fix other parts of your body, like creating a balanced, calm state in yourself, and that scrying can help you actually heal naturally. And some people actually even use scrying as a way to figure out a diagnosis, whether it be mentally or physically, and kind of search for problems. Sometimes it takes healing something else in order to heal something that you believe that is wrong with you. But obviously, I say this every single time, always, if you think there's something seriously wrong mentally or physically, definitely go to doctors. Never ever use this as an absolute sure. You can use this to help you along with things like that, but please just be careful while doing these things. And some use it for much more simple reasons. Some people just use it to restore balance and calmness in their lives once again, and completely clear your mind so you can think of a clearer path. Some people actually use it for anxiety reasons, and some people use this for meditation as well. Because it can help you feel like you have a hold of your life in whatever method of scrying that you are doing. And it puts you in like a sort of trance, calm, clear state, which is like one of the massive powerful properties of what gazing does for you. People also use it to try and change their state of mind and let them kind of help them, guide them in a new direction of their life if they're stuck with like a job or stuck creatively. It can also help you step out of bad situations and guide you on a new path. And some people even use it for much more simple reasons, like finding lost objects, where it can get in contact with your subconscious and help you remember things that you may have forgotten. The uses for scrying are literally endless and extraordinary. I barely scratched the surface. So a lot of people have asked me whether scrying is dangerous. So scrying itself isn't actually a dangerous thing. There is not a ton of dangers that come with actually scrying, but obviously you have to remember that a lot of people believe, including myself, that when you are going into scrying, you can open your mind to, you know, the spirit world and the unknown worlds and places that we are not aware of. The only danger is kind of giving a gateway to anything you may encounter while scrying, negative or positive. Which is why I definitely recommend casting a circle before doing scrying, or like a protection spell of any kind. Or if you would not like to do this and you're not a Wiccan or a witch and just want to learn to read a crystal ball, of course you do not just have to be a Wiccan or a witch to read a crystal ball, but you can, you know, look online to find some sort of rings of protection or something like that. People like to do a kind of like chant before it to kind of keep anything negative away, but again, it's completely your choice. You kind of just have to determine what feels right for you, even if you are just going into it to do something like divination or something. As you may have realized, and as you heard me mention in what scrying is all about, there are tons of different ways to scry and different mediums that you can use in order to scry. And some work a lot better for others. In my case, obviously, I use a crystal ball. This works best for me, but in no way does this mean that it's going to work for everybody. Some people may find mediums that they absolutely love using and hate to do other ones. I personally have as well. Obviously, I will only be demonstrating a crystal ball reading today, so I'm going to link down in my bio some really good methods of how to use these other mediums in order to scry, just beginner's methods, obviously. The first method of scrying is obviously something I've already mentioned, which is crystal balls or crystal gazing, which obviously usually includes, I'm sure most of you guys are already aware what crystal ball reading is since you're watching this video, but it's gazing into a spherical crystal or glass ball. Next method of scrying is using a scrying mirror. Scrying mirrors are typically black, lined with a silver edge usually, but I've heard people use regular mirrors too. I've never actually tried scrying with a mirror, but that's something I would definitely love to do. The next method is water scrying, which obviously is gazing into a bowl of water, typically using a silver, a bronze, a black, or a stone bowl. Typically you would not use regular water, you'd use lake, or you'd use rain or natural water from the natural world. Typically also collected at night, or you can just use a polished dark surface that is dense, typically black and shiny and usually natural like crystals or stone. Some even like to use smoke or fire to gaze into in order to find these subconscious visions and messages, which is very different method obviously to using a crystal ball, but just as effective for some people. And some even like to use oils and waxes too, which is again really interesting. There are only a few of the mediums, but they are kind of the main ones that people use to scry. Now we have determined what scrying is and what it's all about, its purpose, the different mediums of scrying, etc. Now let's get on to how to scry, so how to use a crystal ball. Before I get into this section, I just quickly like to say that obviously this is only my way of reading a crystal ball. Everybody is going to do this the same way. Some people will hate my methods and some people will love them. So if you try this method and it does not work for you, then there's tons of other amazing books and online articles and things like that to look at if this doesn't work for you. You may be scrying for years and years and not like my method at all, and that is totally fine, but it works perfectly for me. And also this is just scratching the surface of how to do a reading. This is not going into depth, this is definitely just a beginner's reading on how to get into the crystal ball reading. There's tons of different ways that you can go from here. So firstly, a really important factor is choosing a crystal ball that is right for you. You may have heard me speak about in my other videos with like the tarot cards and the rune stones. You know, you find a specific deck or a specific set of stones that you really are drawn to that you should work with, and it is the same for a crystal ball. There are tons of different types of crystal balls to choose from, and after a while you may want to build your crystal ball collection. You may have many different crystal balls to choose with and work with. You may have ones that you prefer for specific types of readings. You may have ones for different purposes, for different things depending on what they are. Or you just like to change it up a bit. You definitely don't have to just work with one crystal ball at a time. You can connect with a lot of different crystal balls in a lot of different ways. But first off, it's really good to start with a crystal ball that you have a specific draw to and that feels right for you, because this will start your readings off in a super positive, effective way. So I thought I would tell you some popular crystal balls that people can start off with in order to determine what you're going to choose for your crystal ball. The first being, which is probably the most commonly seen crystal ball, is just a plain glass crystal ball. This is one of the most popular crystal balls just because I feel like people see it in films. It's regularly quite cheap, so you can get a bigger one for less money. But I would definitely not recommend using a glass crystal ball for your first types of reading. Reading a glass crystal ball is totally fine, like you can totally do it, it's very possible, but obviously it's not actually a crystal ball at all. It's made out of man-made glass. There's no natural stone in it, so it has no vibrational qualities, and it doesn't absorb information like crystal balls do. It doesn't get used to you or your pattern that well. It's much harder to work with. So I would not recommend using a glass crystal ball for your first crystal ball just because of those factors. There's nothing wrong with using these, but I think it's probably best to not start off with them just because it may knock your confidence a little bit if it doesn't work for you. The second being, which is what I primarily use, is a mixed crystal ball. So it is a crystal ball that includes like a percentage of crystal and a percentage of glass as well. These tend to be a little bit cheaper, but they also have amazing vibrational qualities because they have a percentage of stone in them, and it can store your information, get used to your pattern, and absorb like energies and stuff from around the room that it is in. So it's quite a preferred one. My personal crystal ball is 60% lab grown clear quartz crystal, and the other 40% is man-made glass. The next ones are either, like you just heard me mention, lab grown crystal or clear quartz. Both are great because they are both just pure quartz. Lab grown quartz is still quartz, but it is grown to make it completely clear, so it doesn't have any of the veils or like the little, you know, indents or marks in the crystal. You would never find it out in the natural. It's grown, but it's still grey because it's still a quartz crystal. And the other one, which is just a quartz crystal ball, is much preferred because obviously it is one of the clearer types of crystals. People love to have a clearer crystal ball because I think a lot of people find it easier to read and gaze into and concentrate on. Especially if you have a great connection to quartz, it might be the perfect one to start off with. They are a bit more expensive, but they literally make the perfect first crystal balls. Next, there are coloured crystal balls. Some can be mixed, like I said before. Some of them can be mixed with a lab grown type of crystal and then also mixed with some man-made glass. But it's really great to have one of these if you feel like you want one of these, because obviously you get the element of the crystal, especially if it's one that you're connected to. You could try to find one that has an element of crystal that you are connected to, but they tend to be a lot clearer, so they can also be really good to read as well. It's a well-known fact that colours can affect your mood. If it's a colour you have a great connection to, a colour that makes you feel safe and comfortable and that you're drawn to, it can help you find your balance and really help you concentrate mentally. And it can affect your mentality and really energise your mind, which makes them a lot easier to read for this specific person. And then there are obviously dense crystal balls, made from like 100% natural crystal. Some find these harder to read, but some have such a specific draw to a type of crystal that they may just feel drawn to getting this crystal ball to start off with. And that is what's best for their reading. If you have a specific crystal that you have like undeniable connection to, definitely go for that for your first crystal ball. And if you definitely want a dense coloured crystal ball and you do not know which one to get, you can always go into a crystal shop or look online and see which one really takes your eye and your fancy, and then maybe you could do some research on it. You could just see a crystal ball that you feel drawn to and just look at it and be like, that is the right crystal ball for me. Each crystal has a different properties that can affect the mindset that make the readings really accurate and help absorb information and get used to their patterns to make their readings really, really accurate and really vivid. If you have no idea what type to get, some great starter ones that I've heard people really, really like to start off with are things like rose quartz, smoky quartz, amethyst, amber, yellow, maybe yellow citrine would be pretty good, lapis and aventurine too. But remember to look into their properties before purchasing one, just to make sure that it is the right crystal ball for you and you like their properties and everything like that, especially if you're looking for a crystal ball that has a kind of specific use for it. So now we have determined what crystal ball is right for you. Now let's get into the fun part, which is how to read your crystal ball and prepare for a reading. So as you would for absolutely anything, any divination tools or any magical tools or anything like that, firstly you need to clear the crystal ball. If your crystal ball has been in a shop or it has been somewhere, obviously you've purchased it online or something like that, or if you're getting it secondhand, because of its vibrational qualities, it will attract whatever is in its environment and will pick up whatever it comes across, negative or positive. So you need to clear the crystal ball before the use, because whatever it has come into contact with in the past may affect you while using it. Just to get into a clear state, because then it'll just connect with you, your routines and your energy. The best way that I feel to do this, which I literally do with like all of my magical tools and my divination tools and all that, is smudging it or using smoke to clear it. I use dried sage personally, but you can use different things like incense, you can use burning stones, you can use coal. I lift the crystal ball off its stand so it can get to all of it, and I burn the sage and let the smoke kind of wash itself around the crystal ball until I feel like it's clear. And you can really, really tell that it looks so much clearer already as soon as you start smudging it, and you'll notice that it will just kind of clear the slate. Some may do this for ages, some may do this for a few minutes, some may just do this one time round and feel like it's clear. You can just do this when you first get the crystal ball, or some people like to do this before every reading just to get a clear state. And some people like to do this just as they're changing questions during a reading, which I personally feel like breaks the focus a little bit, but some people like to do this obviously. It's completely your choice. Another thing people like to do when they first get a crystal ball is sleep with it near them. This kind of gets you used to your patterns, especially when you're in like the most vulnerable state you are sleeping. It's absorbing your energy while you're in this state. After that, once you have a clear state, some people like to start with charging the crystal ball. If you have a glass crystal ball that's made of like 100% glass, unfortunately this is not going to work for you. It just doesn't work. So to charge your crystal ball is to program it, to kind of put an energy into it that has really, really lasting effects. Sometimes I do this if I feel like I need a clear state before a reading and things like that, but it's completely your choice. For example, if you have a subject or an energy that you would like to put into it, like love or a feeling or a color or something you'd like to focus on, or relate to what you'll be using for this crystal ball, or a question or a subject or something like that, there will be a chance to vocalize your question or something like that, so you don't have to ask anything yet, but just kind of put the thoughts and the feelings and the energy into it. You don't have to do this. Some people like to, some people don't. It's completely fine either way. So you can do this by placing your hands on the ball and breathing slowly in and out, like yoga breathing, and you can count 4 each way. This is what I do during yoga most of the time. Just breathe in, count 4, and breathe out and count 4. I'm just going to confirm with the crystal ball what you are doing. So you could say something like, I am focused, my mind is awake, clear and insightful. And then visualize those feelings traveling into the crystal ball from the top of your head down into your heart, into your chest, down into your arms, into your fingers and into the crystal ball. And keep breathing in and out, and as you breathe in, you're thinking of the energy or whatever you would like to put into this crystal ball, and as you breathe out, it's going out into the crystal ball. Some people like to blow on the crystal ball. Again, it's completely up to you, and you can do this as many times as you want until you feel like you have programmed your crystal ball. Now it's time to energize your crystal ball, and some people do not like to do this just because they feel like, you know, the crystal ball is a living thing already, which, you know, I do believe, of course. Or they believe that a spirit or a higher spirit has already, you know, kind of energized it for them. It's already got all the energy that it needs. I like to do it because I feel like it kind of puts the power into it for me. It kind of helps it wake up, it kind of regenerates it and gives it like a little buzz. There are a few ways that you can do this. You can charge it with moonlight or sunlight, leaving it out for kind of at least 12 hours. You can make sure it's in a safe place, so you can bury it in the dirt. Some people believe that literally just touching it to the earth can energize it. And you can say something like this while you are doing this: Moonlight, please transfer some of your energy to this stone to awaken it and make the energy within it clear and strong. Or, you know, sunlight, please transfer, you know, etc. I always do the same kind of saying for this, but just switch it around kind of depending on how I'm energizing it. Some like to wash it through natural water, like streams, hold on to it though, obviously. Or some people just like to leave it in the rain or something like that. Obviously make sure it's safe and not getting damaged. And then again, you'd say something like element of water, etc. Some people even like to, you know, drag it through a flame really quickly, especially if they have like a denser colored stone that may be associated with fire. But I found a really quick, easy, and really effective way is actually to energize your crystal ball with other crystals, because it is super quick, easy, effective if you don't have access to any of those things. To do this, you can take a crystal, quartz, clear quartz is a really great one, or you could pick a crystal depending on what type of reading you're doing that may have some associations, but with the type of uses that you're about to use your crystal ball for. This amplifies your readings and energizes your crystal ball amazingly. You can take the pointed side of your crystal or the more pointed side of your crystal and circulate it around your ball, kind of spinning it around a few times. Some people like to touch the crystal to the ball, some people don't. Some people like to hold it a few inches away, and they just do this until they feel like the crystal ball is ready. Again, this may take longer than others. Some people even like to keep a crystal nearby for during their readings, just in case they have like a mental block within their readings or something like that. And using a crystal within your readings can actually be like absolutely amazing for amplifying what you're looking into, for, you know, making things clearer within your crystal ball. Now that your ball is prepared, we are ready for a reading. But for every single divination, spells, any type of magical workings you're doing, a very important factor of it is preparing your environment. So start with telling whoever you live with or anything like that what you are about to do, unless you're alone. If you have children, make sure they're being looked after. If you have animals, don't let them in the room for you, you know, feed them or something like that. Make sure they're distracted and they're not going to distract you. I personally like to do my readings in the evening with the lights out, with the room lit with candle light. I like to keep the candles around me or away from me, so no unnecessary reflections are on the crystal ball that I don't want. Obviously when I'm doing the demonstration, you'll see there'll be lights on the crystal ball and things like that, but I wouldn't usually obviously have them on during a reading. Turn your phone off or put it on silent so all of your concentration is just focused on your crystal ball. So I like to make sure that my crystal ball is, you know, directly in front of me, kind of at chest level. And I have one singular candle, usually a tea light, sitting behind the crystal ball. It just illuminates the crystal ball for me. I really like it. It helps me to focus. There are lots of different things you can use for this. So you have all of your focus on the ball. I would recommend doing your crystal ball reading on a clear table with a white or a black tablecloth or just plain wood, so that nothing is distracting you from the ball. I also like to warm the room up because you're kind of being put into a meditative trance state. My temperature tends to drop loads during these type of things, so make sure the room is, you know, at a good temperature, and also make sure you're sitting so comfortably you can literally sleep there. Like, be as comfortable as you possibly can make yourself. I also put meditation yoga music on. I literally like search something up on YouTube and get like an hour playlist so that it doesn't stop or distract me. But if you think this is going to distract you, or you really would prefer to work in silence, that is totally fine. You can work in silence as well. So now my environment is completely prepared. At this point, I would like to cast a circle. This depends whether you feel like it's necessary or not. I always feel like it is necessary, so I always do at this point. Like I said, if you're not a witch or a Wiccan and don't find this necessary, this is fine. You'll have your own way of making a protective space. It can be relevant since, like I said, you're opening yourself up to the unknown. Some people, if they have a spirit guide or something like that, or their deities, then they would ask for protection from them now as well. Ask them to work alongside you during this. So now you need to prepare yourself, your mind, and also your body. Before absolutely anything though, I cannot stress enough that you have to be in the right mindset for doing any type of divination, any spell work, any magical workings, necromancy, anything like that. If you are in a vulnerable state, if you are highly emotional, highly angry, sad, anything like that, then you're in a vulnerable state instantly. So anything negative or anything you may encounter, make sure you're just in a kind of clear state mind before doing this. So I start this by sitting down in front of my crystal ball and again, yoga breathing. I breathe slowly in and out, and as I breathe in, I push my stomach out. I breathe in through my nose, and when I breathe out, my stomach goes in and I breathe out through my mouth. I rest my hands on the table or even placed on my crystal ball or on my lap. And I start by taking 3 long breaths in and out, like I just said, relaxing my whole body, relaxing your whole body, and kind of just let it sink into itself. Take 3 more breaths and make sure you're relaxing your shoulders, your neck, everything. There's no tension going on. And again, take 3 more breaths, again, just relaxing. And as you're doing these, feel yourself become rooted to the ground. Connecting yourself to the ground and feeling the energy coming from the top of your head into your fingers and through your body, through your chest, into your legs, into your feet, and grounding yourself, like you're connecting yourself to the ground. Next, you want to center yourself. So again, take 3 long breaths and feel the breath coming in. And as you breathe, you're imagining you are gathering all of this energy into your heart and your chest, and focus all of it gathering in your chest, just manifesting there. Now you want to collect all the energy into your head so you can open your inner psychic eye. So again, breathe in and out, like I said before, 3 times slowly. Imagine your head opening, so the surface between your eyes and your psychic eye or your third eye is now opening, and every single time you breathe in, it's opening a little bit more, and when you breathe out, it's opening a little bit more again. And as you breathe in and in more, you feel it becoming stronger and more clear. Some people like to imagine the top of their head opening and a blue light coming out of the top of their head, and this kind of creates balance throughout the body. You're grounded, you are centered, and your psychic eye is now open. You can do this routine at any point during your reading if you become distracted, and it just keeps you reconnected and helps you keep balance. Now you need to unify yourself with the crystal ball, which is the kind of fun part where you see people rubbing the crystal ball. So what I do is start with rubbing both of my hands together really quickly and focusing on the tips of my hands. I do this for a few seconds, sometimes up to around 30 seconds, and your fingers should feel tingly. They should feel the energy bursting through them. And once you've done this, breathe in and out once, again, slowly, like I said before. And when you breathe out, breathe onto your hands. And then place your hands around the ball, not yet touching it, but as you do this, you should feel the energy, a vibrational buzzing as you place your hands around near the ball. This may take a few seconds, but when you do feel this vibrational buzzing, place your hands on the ball. And you should feel it pulsating and vibrating in your hands, because you have it now joined together, so your energy is connected to the crystal ball. Now what you do is rub your hands over the crystal ball, and you're kind of, think of it as getting to know each other, so you're harmonizing with it, you're rubbing it around and getting with it, and you're putting all of your energy into the crystal ball. It's becoming a part of you and you're connecting together. Bond with it and put all your positivity into it, even if it's something that's not that positive you're going to focus on while using the crystal ball. First, obviously, you need to bond with it. Do not bond with it negatively to start off with, because that will turn back on you. But after you've unified your crystal ball, still keep your hands on your crystal ball and keep the concentration going. Keep the focus on the crystal ball. The most important thing to do is never break focus while doing a crystal ball reading. Not for any dangerous reason, just because if not, it will not be effective. What we're going to be doing now is creating a triangle of energy with the crystal ball. You're maintaining your focus with the crystal ball. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine this line of energy coming from your heart and reaching into a spot in the crystal ball. Then take another breath in, and again, as you breathe out this time, picture a line coming out of your third eye or your psychic eye and going into the same spot in the crystal ball. And this creates a triangle of energy between you and your ball, and this helps this psychic connection between you and your crystal ball. This may take a few minutes to feel this energy triangle. It may take a few attempts. Make sure it's where you want to be. This may sound like a lot to do to start a crystal ball reading, but after a while, obviously with everything, practice makes perfect. It will get so much easier and quicker as it goes along, trust me. Close your eyes and place your hands either side of your crystal ball, and at this point I'm focusing on what I want to achieve out of the reading, no matter what it be, whether it be necromancy, if you're connecting to the dead, or looking for someone specific, or divination. Have your question or think of the situation or the subject. Whatever you're doing, just think about it, do not ask it yet. You will feel a slight vibration between your hands and the crystal ball, and then after you've done that, place your hands on your lap. It's time to read the crystal ball. Open your eyes, still maintaining your focus, and find the area in the crystal ball that interests you, and focus on it. This may take it moving around very slowly at first and finding the place of interest, and this may happen randomly. You may literally just see a spot in the crystal ball that you're instantly drawn to for no reason whatsoever. Or you may see something in the crystal ball that catches your eye. Once you found that spot, do not flicker your eyes or anything, just keep a straight vision at this point in the crystal ball. Keep it in straight sight. Sometimes you may need to lean in and out the crystal ball, but never get too close to your crystal ball because it will make you lose focus. And at this point, your mind is pouring into the crystal ball. You are you and the crystal ball are one. You're in a trance, you're in a meditative state, and all of your energy and yourself is in the crystal ball. You're in a limitless space. If you'd like to ask a question or have a subject you'd like to be vocal about, now is the time to do it once you are into the crystal ball. Be vocal about it, say it out loud. From there, your visions will grow, and it may come to you in a lot of different ways. There is a couple of different ways that you can see things in the crystal ball. Sometimes it's not actually what's in the crystal ball. Sometimes we may get clear visual images that may be visions or symbols or pictures or memories, or you may even hear a sound or have something indicate that you may be hearing a sound. And these visions will be what you are seeking in your reading. It may be something that someone has said that holds relevance to something, but no matter what you're seeking, everything's being brought into your subconscious, and it may take a few minutes. You may get stuck, you may have to, amplify it with different types of mediums. All of that originates in the crystal ball in which you are gazing into. Like I said, this can come to you in so many different ways. It can come to you in symbols. It can come to you from so many different things you may not understand at the time, and they all have relevance. All things may just come to your mind and you may just know. Since your subconscious is working with it, and it's just maybe how you see the visions. You may have veils in your crystal ball, and you may find a specific point in your crystal ball that has veils and see a picture or see a pathway that leads to the answer that you are seeking, onto different worlds or different, depending on what direction you're going in your reading. You may even be able to work out images, pictures, symbols, anything like that in your veils in your crystal ball, and that may be how you read it. And if you see some things you are super confused by and you want to remember and things like that, to do more research into it, never stop during a reading to write something down, because you will lose focus. Keep your concentration during your readings, but keep everything that you've seen, all your visions, in your mind. And then straight after you've finished it, write it all down. And you may want to do more research into the images that you've seen. You may want to have a think about them, and they may come to you like that. There's another way I like to kind of see into the crystal ball, and I use the crystal ball as a kind of door. I find this is an amazing way to do necromancy, so this could be a gateway for you. But again, there are so many different ways to go about this. So after I find the spot in the crystal ball that I would like to focus on, the thing that catches my attention, that I feel drawn to look at, I gaze at that section in the crystal ball until my eyes become blurry, and then my eyes will feel like they naturally need to close, or I may just close my eyes. And once I've closed my eyes, what I do is I envision this crystal ball in front of me with my hands on the crystal ball. I forgot to mention, keep your hands on the crystal ball for this one. And what I picture is the crystal ball getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's getting bigger and bigger in my mind, and my hands are kind of coming off it, and it's becoming a massive wall in front of me until all you can see is crystal ball. And then after that, you have to envision a door, a crystal door in the kind of crystal wall in front of you. Before you enter the door, you may want to just ground yourself again, so do what you did earlier when you center yourself and ground yourself to the floor, just to keep the focus and the concentration going. And then step through this door. It may take you to the other side of the veil, it may take you to an unknown world. You may not recognize the space you are going in, you may just be floating through clear air. You may be walking, floating, standing, sitting, and just let yourself go through this space no matter what you are doing. Then picture yourself, this may take a while and it may not happen at all. You may come to a book in this space, or a book may fall for you, or you may find this book somewhere in the space. This may take a few minutes. And what you do is you open this book and you flick through this book and you keep turning the pages until you find the answer that you seek. Or the answers may just pass you while you're in this space. You may see people, you may see things in the space that give you the answers to what you are seeking. So once you are done in this space, what you want to do is close the book, and wherever you are, whatever space you are in, you want to walk back to the door, and then make sure to close the door behind you. And then once again, you envision this wall and this crystal in this space getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it is back in your hands and the size of your hands. And then you will exit the crystal ball. If at all you feel uncomfortable during a reading, definitely make sure to relax. You can sit back and take a few seconds and take a couple of breaths and you will be fine. At first, I would not recommend for scrying for over 20 minutes, just because it can be very intense and it can tense up your body and things like that. So definitely for 20 minutes to start off with, but after a while you'll get into the swing of it and be able to do it for a lot longer, because it can last quite a while and time goes very quickly. Before we finish our reading session, it's very important to close the crystal ball and close ourselves off from the crystal ball. And you can do this in a very similar way to opening the crystal ball. After you've found your answers, clear your visions, clear your mind completely, clear the crystal ball, whatever you'd like to do, and begin to focus on the room around you. Your energy triangle is disappearing, everything is reconnecting to the real world, and just kind of take in your surroundings and just breathe in as normal, and just take a second to 3 or 4 minutes just to kind of sit, taking your surroundings again. Then allow yourself to connect with the world. Then after that, if you've cast a circle, close your circle. After you've done your crystal ball reading, make sure to return your environment to how it was before. Then around half an hour to an hour after you've done a crystal ball reading, because you're in a meditative kind of trance state, always make sure you never drive after doing something like that, because your mind still may be into like a meditative state. It's not safe. Don't do anything that's going to put you in danger after that. Just kind of take an hour to yourself just to chill. And also I would recommend for storage, I recommend covering your crystal ball when you first get it with like a black cloth or a reflective cloth or something like that, or in a black box, so it can kind of block out any energies that may kind of pass it. You may not want to be in there until you've kind of worked with it for a fair bit, and then, you know, you can literally have like your crystal balls around your house. You can also have crystal balls around your house, obviously, for, you know, the same purposes you would have crystals. After a while, you can be cove to you, it can be uncovered and it won't really matter too much. Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it helped you with any of your crystal ball needs, and I hope it helped you understand scrying too. Sorry about the lack of videos this week. I've had like such a mentally draining week, and I've been trying to film this video and get it perfect for ages. So I'm really sorry about that. It's been extremely stressful, but I'm feeling a lot better today. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Grab a crystal ball.